everyone, it's Bob McCraney, and welcome back to This Month in Realty. I'm so happy to have again Jamie Harnish. Jamie is an agent with Bosley Real Estate in the Toronto, Yonge and Eglinton area. Tell us about the market, Jamie, up there in Yonge and Eglinton.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, the market is strong for sellers, which is, I think, typical of a fall market, right? So September, October, particularly like mid to late September and getting into October, traditionally is kind of like the second busiest season after the spring market. And so, and nothing has changed in terms of Toronto being a very strong seller's market, unfortunately for buyers. And so it's kind of the story continues and hasn't really changed a whole lot.
Okay, so give us a retrospective then of the summer. How did people do?
Yeah, so the summer, I think, was what I would consider a typical summer, where we had a very, very busy spring, and the spring actually came a bit early. It was very pronounced in like February, March, April, and then May was a little bit quieter, and then June kind of tapering off into July and August. The number of sales were still strong, so the buyer activity was still there, but the inventory was quite low. And so when you look at a sales to new listing kind of ratio between the two, it still indicated very much a seller's market. That being said, and it's too late now, but anybody who's watching this who's a potential buyer, keep this in mind for next year. The summer, in my opinion, is the best time for a buyer to be looking, because even though everything I just said, inventory is low and that kind of stuff, there's still quite a bit less competition. People are just not as active during the summer. And I would say the winter is another example for us coming up. I would say probably starting in December, maybe late November, but late November, December, and early parts of January. Great opportunities for buyers to not be involved in the frenziness that would be the spring and then followed by the fall market. Potentially the right house won't come up because, again, that inventory kind of really dies off. But if the right place does come along, buyers wouldn't have to fight over it as much as they would if it came up on the market in April or October, just as an example.
Okay, that's cool. This kind of overlaps that question then. You had 2 listings that sold within hours. Tell me about that, and tell me what your predictions are for the fall market.
Yeah, so if those 2 listings were kind of any indication, the fall market is going to be a busy one. Probably not as busy as the spring, but the spring was literally record-breaking for the Toronto Real Estate Board in terms of number of sales and price action and all that kind of stuff. So I had one condo listing, very nice condo. It was 2 stories, penthouse unit, had a rooftop terrace, had a south view, could catch glimpses of the lake. That sold. We did not kind of like do a bait price. We brought it out at a price that the sellers were willing to accept, and it sold within, I would say, roughly 8 hours of it hitting the market. The first showing that came in wanted to put an offer in right away, so that was really great. But that's kind of an indication that the condo market is good and much better than it was this time last year. This time last year, the condo market in Toronto was in the dumps. That's the technical term for it, I believe. And then the house that I had on the east side of the city, we did do the typical bait price with an offer strategy, but open to a preemptive offer, which actually is the technical term, or what we refer to as a bully offer. And it got scooped up in under 24 hours by a very strong bully offer. The owners were very pleased with kind of seeing the number that they got on paper. And they were happy to just kind of have everything over with and not kind of play out the rest of the week with the offers and stuff. So if those 2 listings aren't any indication, and certainly what I'm seeing from colleagues and what's on the market right now, things are getting scooped up fairly quickly and for big numbers. The fall will be a strong market, and anybody who's thinking of selling within the next month or so, I think it would probably be a good idea.
Just for those who may not know, explain what you consider to be a bully offer. I understand what you mean, but just so that folks know.
Sure. Yeah, bully offer. So sellers have a strategy where they are holding back on offers. So it's kind of like hey, we're going to host an auction almost a week later. And so a buyer wants to try and bully the sellers or push them around and say, hey, forget about that plan. I don't want you to, go forward with your offer strategy, your offer night a week from now. Take this offer now.
Yeah.
And, it's like them being a bully, but it's like the nicest bully possible because they're trying to throw money at the sellers basically and make the sellers really happy. So the word bully is kind of funny. I guess it's used to maybe bully other buyers because they're kind of getting the wrong end of the stick, I guess, if you will.
Right.
But the bully offer can often be a happy time for sellers. So
excellent.
Yeah.
So Jamie, how would somebody reach you?
DM through whatever platform somebody's watching this is totally fine. Also happy to take a phone call or a text on my cell, 416-428-8892. You can also send me an email at jharnish@bosleyrealestate.com, or if you literally just Google me, Jamie Harnish Toronto, my Google business profile comes up, and you can
Excellent.
head to my website or contact me anyway through that.
Okay, great. This has been This Month in Realty. Come back next month.
Absolutely.
Okay, this has been This Month in Realty. Tune in next month to hear more from Jamie and other real estate experts from Canada and the United States. Take care.
Thanks, Bob.